Amy, the Mystic Rose Tarot. I am going to do a tarot deck review of a deck I received this past weekend, and it went beyond my expectations. Not that I have expectations when I get a tarot deck, but called the Nature Spirit Tarot by Jean Herzel. It was released in 2014. It's basic information that I know. It's self-published. She gives a breakdown, an explanation of the flower, the herb, because she goes through ginger and chives, and some of the backgrounds of the images here. And she gives an explanation about the spiritual meaning behind the plants and particular species of animals and flowers, and it was very informative. I love nature and animals so much, and living up in the mountains, I'm grateful to just walk out my door and I see Mother Nature at 360 degrees. So receiving this deck means a lot to me because it further extends my connection and my greatest respect for Mother Nature. So I haven't read with the deck yet. I've been going through the book and just savoring each of the images. But let me go right into this deck. I'm going to show you the boxing. This deck, as I mentioned, came out in 2014. The packaging is very simple. This is the front of the box for Magician here. Of the cards. And I did mention it when I first started this video. The cards are large. They're 4 by 7 inches. This is the box that it comes in. It's a flip top box. Again, this is self-published. She put her blood, sweat, and tears into this deck. And then we get a book, which is just wonderful. It's 188 to 89 pages. And the plates of the cards, they're all in color, but they're small. And then there's a reference information about, in this case, we have salmon. And this is the card that I'm working with right now, the 8 of Cups. I'll go in here really close. So you have the color plate. She gives the background of the salmon, where it comes from, how its relationship is with that specific card. Any other elements that are in there, like sweet pea. So we have the flowers, the 8 flowers of sweet pea, and she explains the representation of the sweet pea in relation to that card. So I'm going to go through the major arcanas. I'm going to probably just go through these very quickly. At least I don't have to get close. So here's our Magician. And I don't want to give an explanation too much. The High Priestess, White Owl, you see crescent moon. There's the moon right here on top of her crown, if you will. And then she's between the 2 pillars, light and dark, conscious and subconscious. I'm going to probably have a big smile throughout this entire review because I just love the images here. Here's our Empress. The Emperor of the Peacock. I'm going to put these 2 here together so you can see. The Cardinal for the Hierophant. Look at these bright colors. They're just wonderful. And the wings up And in some of the cards of the major arcana, she uses crystals for their power influence of some of the major arcana. The Lovers. And the colors are bold. Whoever printed this did a really wonderful job. There's no blurring like you would see in some digital decks that aren't produced very well. The quality in this is just very nice. And she did the illustrations as well. Her strength. I can't remember the name. This is a beetle here that's found in only certain regions in the world. And the way that Jean creates the scene and the mood for each of these images, it's just beautiful. You got a quick peek. This is the back of the cards, so you could do reversible readings with them. Like the squared circle. Fortune. Just beautiful. Justice. Actually, after going through the major arcana, I did a nightly meditation pull with this deck before going to sleep. And this is the card that came up for me for justice. And here, this is a particular beetle, and it looks just like this. And it has its coloring black and white. It's just to emphasize the balancing of those two energies. When it comes to, you know, making choices and using the mind in a right manner. The other thing that's interesting too is when you go through the book, and if some of these creatures don't look familiar, you can always go online and just type in their name and just see their physical images, you know, how they look. This is a salamander, a hangman, which is planet Neptune. There's no astrological references. There's nothing Kabbalah, which my mind has been in for the last few weeks, if you've seen my previous videos. So this is actually, this deck is playtime for me right now. Excuse me, because it moves me away from the cerebral aspect of what I have been working on. We have death. If you look closely, we see the sun rising, but the sun's starting to look like a little bird here, which could be the new form of this particular bird. Temperance. This is fluorite. Let me see our elemental symbol right there. This card, the Devil card, you think, how would you do an illustration for the Devil card for nature or an animal? I think she did an excellent job. This is a wonderful devil, even down to the inverted pentagram. It's not pentacle, there's no circle around it, just the pentagram. And then we have the seahorses, which represent strength. The tower, with the vultures. The vultures are actually very important for our ecosystem because they devour carcasses, and they're part of the cycle So the star, beautiful here, the star. So again, in the book, there's information about all this. Moon card is actually one of my favorites here. Were created, they're stone, and they were created to replicate their shape, the rays of the sun. So they like petrified it so that the shape of this actually looks like the rays of the sun. And here you see the symbology of the moon. And these are actually found in many temples at the entranceway for protection. And as we know, the sun is part of the moon. The moon's light is a reflection of the sun. So it's very important in this card to show the different phases. And here we have the sun, the beautiful eagle there, and the sunflowers. Judgment of the dragonfly. And we have the colors of the chakras right here. And the world. This is a tree of life. And the plants and creatures that we see here represent, and I think I have it in one of the other cards. I think it could have been, it's not the tower. One of the other cards here, they have the same, it's the Wheel of Fortune card. They have the four influences, the four fixed signs, but represented through animals and through plants at the end. So this is our Fool card. And this beautiful bird here, it's listed in the book. Apparently, this is part of its tail, and they look like this. When they fly, it makes a certain sound. It's a sound that's very unique, and it's also to attract their mate. For the calla lily, in relation to water, is because of the way where it's located and its shape. It can actually hold water when it rains, and that's where it gets part of its sustenance. Because it gets collected and then it goes in throughout its structure down to the roots. So we have the calla lily to represent water. Yeah. And the beauty and the detail in this. We have the caduceus right here. And this very special flower. The Three of Cups. Again, in the guidebook, she goes into the details of the grasshopper, the relationship of the calla lilies with these flowers. Number 7 of Cups. And this one says 7 of calla lilies. From here on, and this will be the first time that I'm going to spend time in looking at all these, at all the Arcana here with you. So I'm going to do it like this. I know my order when I come back. Oh, isn't that beautiful? It's just beautiful. We have a Page of Cups. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think the page The pages throughout the suits are represented by the beetle, or some species of beetle, and then I think the knights could be I told you I was going to have a smile on my face throughout this entire day. And so here we are with our aces. Ace of Wands. I believe. So you can see the detail a little bit more. I'm happy these cards are big. I mean, as a reader, this places you in a really good position to actually go into these cards and experience the realm and the energy of these cards. Sorry, my allergies. If I can only stop rubbing my nose when I do these reviews, it's very hard. Five of Wands. We've got 5 beetles, different species. It's just very simple, this deck, you know, and that's, for me, that's all I need. You know, I can focus on a certain symbology of the images, the color background, the sky. We're still in Wands, 7 of Wands. Okay, so this is showing up a little bit more on the blue side. The cards themselves, it's like a gray color, so I'm going to say it is smoky gray. Smoky gray quartz. Vibrant colors. This video isn't showing how powerful these colors are. Okay, that was our 10 of Wands. That's our Page of Wands. I'm not sure if this is a beat or not. Knight of Wands. It's the cockatoo. Not a single human is found in this deck. The meaning of each card. And it's our represent the mind. So here's our Ace of Swords. And that is the Cobra. Swords. Very simple. The meaning, but just the images. There's this, you know, graphic depictions of 3 of Swords of some decks. I believe this is our mantis here. So 4 of Swords. 5 of Swords. So it still holds an ominous background, and the creatures that are portrayed in this deck, especially for the swords, relate to the energy of the swords. Six of Swords. Just wonderful. Look at this. So when this deck comes out, if you're liking what you're seeing, buy it. It's going to be in a smaller format, but this is wonderful too. It's Eight of Swords. We've got the Black Widow. Nine of Swords. Okay, so then, how do you think our Ten of Swords is going to look in this deck? It's painful, but it's not. It's harsh. So we have our that's needed to go to the next phase. So I emphasize that to people if they see a card that looks ominous, to get them to look at the flip side of it. Yeah, it's going to be hard, but then once you get past it, you know, it feels really sweet. It's like all that pain and all that discomfort's gone. So here we go. So yeah, I guess the pages are the beetles, different species of beetles. And then, as I mentioned, for the night's birds, for movement, it's on a cactus there, a flowering cactus. I love the size of the deck is to show this. I don't have to get right in front of the camera like so. I can just rest my arm here and show it to you. So, Queen of Swords, wasps. I think it's a wasp. Actually, no, I think it's a different kind of bee. See, that's why this deck is important, because then I'm going to start learning about all these creatures, and there's also the Latin name that's given for each of the creatures and the flowers that are in here, and the herbs. There's your King of Swords. It's a flamingo. Creating balance in its environment. Showing the strength of creating stability through hard work and effort. So 3 Pentacles. I know something just told me to put these cards side by side. Five of Pentacles. So you can see some Rider-Waite-Smith influence with some of the cards. Six of Pentacles. Coming out of the survival, again, transformation to butterflies. All the cards here, they just, I'm not going to say that each card gets better and better, but it's just, yeah. Look at this. Look at all the abundance in here. Strawberries, turtle, and the butterfly on top. Turtles of wisdom, but also they're very patient. So here's our 10 of Pentacles. I'm curious why there's flies. Maybe it's not a fly. I don't know. They look like flies to me. And we have the we have the corn husks. We're seeing the color scheme still all green, earth, beautiful cargo. I'm not sure what medium she used. B, Queen of Pentacles. Then, oh dear. Luckily, it's the last card. Represent the results of one's efforts, being steadfast and focused. This is the card that you can be, not the turkey. It's the card, the energy that you can attain through patience and effort and hard work. Alrighty. So that is all 78 cards of the Nature Spirit Tarot by Jean Herzel. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this deck is out of print, but it will be re-released in February, approximately February of next year. And this is the guidebook just to show you again. And they're wonderfully large. And here's our box for it. I'm keeping the wrapping on it. And here's our back side. So, just to show you size proximity, it's quite big. That's the back side of the card. I'm sure just 4 cups here. So, for more information about this deck, the history behind it, and Jean Herzel's artwork, she does prints, I believe, and she does commission work as well. The website is www.naturespirittarot.com, and she gives a breakdown, I think similar to what's in the book, of the cards, either by suit or by major arcana. Spend time and take a look at it, and you can see through my video and other videos the images of the deck, and just see how it resonates with you. This deck is going to be, when it's re-released, it is going to be a different format. It's going to be smaller, and the packaging, I believe, is going to be redesigned, which makes sense because the decks or the cards are going to be smaller. So yes, if you love nature, animals, creatures, Mother Nature, I think this is one of the most beautiful decks that I've seen out there. It's 6 years old. So in 6 years' time, we've seen the transition of how people are creating their tarot decks and how they represent nature and so on and so forth. This is such a simple, beautiful, animal, creature, nature-filled deck that I'm very happy to have received this. And I'm going to covet this deck. This deck is not going anywhere except on the table to do readings and for my own meditation and whatnot. So I cannot recommend this deck enough. So keep an eye out for it. Have to wait a little bit, but I want to share this deck because I don't think a lot of people knew about it after it came out. Just like it came out, people bought it and then it disappeared because it wasn't reissued immediately after. So So check it out. This is Amy, the Mystic Rose Tarot. All my information to reach me for readings and for tarot tutorials are in the description. Any questions you have, feel free to leave a comment, but of course, best to email me. You could do that through my website. Again, my contact information is in the description. Let me know what you think about this deck, how you feel about it. Or if you do have this deck and you've worked with it, how do you feel with it? You know, how do you connect with it? Or if you have any other nature decks. Deck like this, it just helps me stay connected to these beautiful creatures and not feel like I'm missing something. So that's the reason why I love these decks, because I can use them during certain times of the year for practice and for connecting with that kind of work. And then the summer months, you know, I could just use a few cards if I feel like there's an energy that's coming very strong for me. You know, I'll pull a card and do maybe a reading around that and see exactly what's going on, what's being called to me for that specific energy. So let me wrap it up. Have a wonderful week. I will be back. And again, any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or reach me through my website. And I look forward to seeing everyone on the internet again very soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.